Welcome, welcome back to the Pelafort. I am your tired and exasperated host, Belphegor, Princess Sloth, sucked into the VTuber dimension to play video games for your leisure. Continuing on with Final Fantasy XIV, Realm Reborn, with our lizard wife life. Yesterday, a lot of talking happened. We found Minfilia's adoptive mother, who was supposedly dead. We fought a Moogle king. And then we found a Danger Noodle. Hello, KO2 unit. Okay, well, have fun looking. Let me check something real quick. See if this works. Nothing. Okay. I'll fix it later. Well, that didn't work. I'll have to think of something else. But in the meantime, enjoy your time outside and enjoy lurking. Okay, we fought the Leviathan. We met a white-robed Ascian called Elidibus. So, you know, that was a thing. And that's about as far as we got, because there was a lot of talking. A lot of cutscenes back to back. Oh, and some Doman refugees showed up. Met the Syndicate. And now they live in Revenant Stoll. So, you know, that's a thing. Let's continue our adventures. But first, the queue. And information. I saw some recent patch notes about Ether being completely, shut down because the population was so popular that Ether servers just filled up to the brim. So you can no longer create any new characters on the Ether servers. I was gonna try and make one just to do some side quests and meet the Ether community, but that's no longer an option, apparently. So, you know, just gonna have to make it on that other one, like Crystal. Anyway, time to wake up. We are a small lizard wife. We have axes to swing. Yesterday we also changed our look to add black horns via the Zalia tribes. So now our nice black horns matches our fine black lipstick and eyeshadow. We are a true goth wife now. When Yuguri met the fraternity, Xanthael has orders to point you in the direction of the Limson underworld. The Admiral has informed me of the arrangement. I have in my keeping a letter of introduction for Lady Yuguri. To the south stands a gate leading to a pier for the smaller fishing vessels. Look for an inconspicuous Huron man there, and present the letter to him. He serves as gatekeeper of sorts. Now, before you go, I am obliged to remind you that the members of this fraternity to which you would be introduced abide in the shadows of Limson society. They value their independence more highly than pirates, and are united by a bond stronger than Mithril. To wit, they are invariably wary of new faces. Though it be penned by the Admiral herself, mere words on parchment will get you only so far into their confidence. You must work for every ounce of trust they place in you. But here's the letter. Go to the aforementioned place. Show it to the aforementioned men. Oh, and good luck. Very good then. Okay. This direction. That is an inconspicuous man. Got business with me, Ventura. Have this letter. Sir, you're a woman the Admiral sent. Oh, that is on autoplay. And I missed the second thing he said. Ah, you must be the Far Easter that Moeba says wants to train with us. Welcome to Linza. Linza, my lady. I'm Yogiri of Doma. It is an honor to make your acquaintance. I must confess, when I first learned of your organization, I had certain preconceptions as to the nature of your membership. It would seem I was mistaken. You're not the first to say that, alas. Nimza's a city of pirates, to be sure. Pirates don't give two farts about keeping a spotless reputation. They hardly need a secret society to do the dirty work. Might be as my people and I keep to the shadows, but we've got nothing to be ashamed of. It's simply better for business that we remain unseen. And so you have developed fighting techniques suited to that purpose. I see. Know that practitioners of my art too are denizens of shadow. It is in stealth that our strength lies. There is much we might learn from one another, I think. Then what in the 7 hours are we waiting for? If you come with us, you'll do what's it. We can get acquainted in a more private surrounds. Ha! That didn't come out right, did it? Lady Tada, I shall remain with these people for a time, that I might study their ways. Though I'm loath to be separated from my countrymen, I take solace in the knowledge that they are in the best of hands. You have been a true friend to us, Domans. No words would suffice to express my gratitude. Ere long, I hope to begin imparting my martial knowledge to the people of Eorzea. When that time comes, it would be my honor to welcome you as a student. I just have a giant axe, and I'm happy with it. No sneaking around for our lizard wife. Not at the moment. We got a new axe. Looks like. See what shape this one takes. Oh, ain't she a beauty? Yeah. Me likey, me likey, me likey. Very cool. Okay. Through the mail shop. And there is that guy I don't like, looking all smug. Yugiri has the air of a woman bursting with gratitude. Much and more has occurred since first I beheld Eorzea from the galleon's deck. Suffice to say, I did not envision being invited to play a part in your noble struggle. But forgive me, I've kept you overlong. Doubtless you have pressing matters of business of your own. Rest assured, I no longer require an escort in this land. When next you meet Lady Manvelia, pray relay to her my humblest thanks. Would that I could do so in person, but I must needs fulfill my promise to the Admiral. Till we meet again, Warrior Light. Okay. Rising Star. Look at our little domain. Already a hustle and bustle.
I've been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand.
Oh, just ought to play.
If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me. When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul. But never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Elidibus spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed.
With the axe of a lizard wife.
There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale. Yet recent events have given me cause to wonder. Could the legend in fact refer to the Echo?
Possibly.
Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight.
Yep, Lord Time
With
apparently.
Oniange's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long.
Oh, it's Eringe or Uriange, whatever.
Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Thy milkshake bringeth thy boys
Grave
to you.
tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
It's gone.
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
You staying hydrated in these hot
12%.
months, KO2? Might be dehydration. If not, take some ibuprofen. That might help. As someone who gets headaches very often.
If there are no
I'll
other
get some rest.
matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
Yeah, might be. Allergies, maybe? Sinus headache?
It is done, my lord. Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
Revolution. Yeah, I knew this guy was a scumbag. He was far too nice. got a new earring. The Great Divide. Now it's more of my sensitivity to atmospheric change. Ah. The Great Divide. Inferior's thoughts keep returning to the fate of the students of Baldessium. Well, hopefully their weather evens out soon. Less headaches on your part. Yeah, I like the axes I've been getting from this epilogue. They're much more varied than the ones I got during the story. I mean, I had the single-bladed, and then the double-bladed, and then maybe the single-bladed would sometimes have a, like, circular emblem with, like, a lightning bolt or a flame. And now I'm getting actually different-looking axes. Yeah, you're welcome. Weather can be a pain. Let's see. Our friends. No. Our friends. The very isle itself. Everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Urianger will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. Okay. It concerns etheric fluctuations, which we had previously attributed to Good King Mugamog XII, PhD, Esquire, Attorney-in-Law. The king is no more. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. You're welcome. I don't know what I did during that fight, but you're welcome. Yet all is not well in the Twelveswood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Knock knock, motherfucker. Celia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Udar this time, have come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Acelia, you know full well we don't have the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider that what will happen if we do this. Word will spread, and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear the suit. Yeah, it seems kind of strange that we couldn't afford the Alamegan people. I think that's what they're called. I think it was calling them Alamahegan for a while there. Strange that we didn't let them in first and the Domans just walked right up, got in line. Anyway, Tina, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Why? I'm just a small lizard wife with an axe. I have no power in the room of diplomacy. And a cutscene. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Benfilia, and I lead the Signs of the Seventh Dawn. Troll be praised, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourself. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, I just said it. I ain't too good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Uldar for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one what got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man, not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't nearly enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They claimed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, and even if I could see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me. Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you surely do the same for us. I feel the situation is rather more complicated. While it's true we accepted the Doman's position for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but I pray understand it's not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret I must deny your request. But we have nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Dotaru is not amiss. Hail tidings from Uldar, my lady. Alphinaud has been wounded. Serves you right, you smug little shit. No, seriously, what's happened to Alphinaud? What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. At the center, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we got. My lady, we are not the ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding the riot, I'm not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for the actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud, and quick. If he is in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray not concern yourself with the matters we were discussing earlier. Yida and Papalino will see to it. Alphinaud is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Tida. Yeah. Sorry if I sleep. Look, KO2, it's fine. You got a headache, you go take care of yourself first and foremost. Thank you for stopping by, but if you need to take a rest from the headache, you go for it, alright? You're under no obligation to stick around if you really don't want to, or if you really can't. There's always the stream tomorrow, you can catch it, or you could wake up in a couple hours and still catch me. Should be streaming until like 12 or 1 p.m. my time, as per usual. Why, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed my content. But if you have a headache and you're not all there right now, I'm bad at words. If you're not feeling your best, go ahead and take a nap. Take a sleep. You can keep this open if you want, but go ahead and rest up. Okay, Alphinaud, what you got for me? So then I suplexed her.
You must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well.
Let's see how quite well you are when I hit you with a meta chair.
Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over.
So it would seem.
Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist.
Capitalism.
Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Domans asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence.
I mean, that's my go-to, and it's worked out well thus far.
That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Or, and hear me out, or maybe that was the entire plan. Wait for them to leave for joint exercising and then start a riot. Just saying. Desperate times. Alphinaud wishes to investigate the circumstances surrounding the riot. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Rauban has to say upon the matter. I get the strangest feeling he's gonna piss off a lot of people and Alphinaud's gonna get assassinated. He can only be a smug little shit for so long. You know? He's eventually gonna get smacked upside the head or get thrown off his horse, and then he'll be down in the dumps, and then I'll have to drag his ass out of the trash bin he fell into. Hello, Rauban. God. Okay. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. I'm just going to assume he said something about the... I'm tired of missing stuff like that. Let me see if we can look up some quest text for this. MSQ, the Great Divide was the last one. Desperate times. Yeah. Desperate times. Let's see if they have a log on cutscenes. Give me a moment. Interactions. Journal. Dialogue. Ah, here we go. Now's not a good time, Private Tawanami. Our hands are full dealing with the refugees. There we go, that works. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphanol, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your Chirigans. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation. Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of the resistance remained throughout Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damn elusive. I can well imagine, given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed. And not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add to that such equipment is costly. One can deny that tensions between the Odanan citizenry and the citizenry, damn that word, and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But what would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? No. But would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not a single guild to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against the benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight to chance. These events were deliberately set in motion then. And now order must be restored. That is my duty. Till it is done, any investigation can wait. We do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these rioters were instigated by outside forces, the monitorists would accuse him of intending to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Taida. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I don't talk at all. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Sure. I shall persuade them with my small white waves, which is not nodding stoically and punching my hand at me. You look as though you have something to say, Taida, do you? What you ask is no simple favor. For such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. I'm gonna choose to make up things to make this sound even more ridiculous. I'm gonna assume the wise words I said to him were for shizzle. God, I'm showing my age. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well, the brass blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the blades posted there. Okay, Lost Hope was near Blackbush Station, I believe. So let us away. Huzzah! Polar bear. Ah! How you doing, y'all? My name's Taida. I like what I do when I do what I like. What brings you here, adventure? Let's search for refugees? Well then, you come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees. Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept this situation, and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregorious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it that means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zaza Waka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak to Zaza Waka. He will explain everything. Oh, we're going into a cave, are we? Are the refugees gonna turn out to be void sent? Hey, Zaza Waka. Ah, don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. I beg your pardon. You're not a flame. I see. If Lofric bid you speak to me, then I take it you'd have agreed to help. Shall be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under the fanatic's spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few wouldn't heed my words. Now that one of our idealists have returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent, and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I have no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. Behind the tent. What are you doing? Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Why did you run away with me? We couldn't have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Slow ride. Who are you? What do you want? I want a nice comfortable bed. A nice room where I can see the changing of the seasons. And a very, very nice kitchen to make all sorts of pastries and teas that I can sleep comfortably and eat with. Also a nice comforter for the winter and a thin sheet for the summer. Perhaps a fan and a nice heater while we're at it. That is my ideal. And that is what I want. And by helping the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, maybe, one day, maybe I might just get that. Oh, were you talking about something else? Okay. It's true. I followed the merchant and made the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had bought and employed us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us up into 2 groups, set us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter. And, oh gods, the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. Things are getting weird, yo. Shock and awe. The terrified refugee would have you find his brethren and convince them to lay down their arms. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try and kill us than listen to reason why the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox and all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished in the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. Fuck these words with R in them. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat. Show my brethren that the strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce the plot. Headed over yonder. Flying polar bear away! Polar bear, power! I'm easily amused. Hello, desperate refugee. I'm here for a bed. 7 hells, they found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's a game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. Oh, they want to tussle, do they? Come get a licking. With my chocobo. Spin the wind. You stun me, I'll stun you. Hoo hoo hoo. More for me. His wife is strong. So, you're the twins, huh? I'll take you out. You spin me right, baby, right forward. And also, and give me. Is that all you got, mate? Yeah, you beat him like it was nothing. Oh, almighty, what have we gonna do now? May I suggest you take up breakdancing? We'll get a polar bear. Polar bear? Power! Alright, speak with the terrified refugee. I'm back. You've returned to find my brethren. What are the twins? What happened? I kicked the fucking ass. I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot of get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Huh? But where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others. Wow, this is escalating quickly. You're all gonna be slaughtered by the end of the day at this rate. Reap the whirlwind. A terrified refugee would have you find the shady figure who's trying to stir dissent among his brethren. The merchant wished to approach the refugees at Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew the forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in the pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Where's Stone's Throw? Oh, it's over there. The bearer, away. This is still really silly. I mean, what a flying bear. Oh, how ridiculous. I think this is the place. Ellie! What is up, Ellie? And a cutscene. Uh-oh, this can't be good. Have you seen my parents? No, I have not. They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon. But it's been days. They left with the man from Udar. The man said they were gonna change everything. Make it so we could live inside the walls with everybody else. I liked when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? I'm looking for a bed. I'm looking for a merchant. You mean the man who left with my parents? I don't know who he... Chat. Hey, look, over there. I think that's him. Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? Bonjour! I'm a small lizard wife with an axe, and you look like you have an ass that needs kicking. Run, bitch! He's getting away. Don't get him, miss. With pleasure. Being a small lizard wife with an axe does not always enter itself to fun, but this does put a smile on my face. I don't think I even used the word inter correctly in that sentence. Hello, merchant man. Art thou prepared to die? Or at least get your face planted in some wood like several times. You again? Why are you pursuing me? Because you look shady as fuck. I want a bed. Sedition, treason, revolution. That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? Self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Udar? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. That little girl as a witness. No, I would not accompany you to the halls of flames. You have no right to detain me. Oh yeah? I'm the warrior of motherfucking light. Apparently. For the sake of argument, let's say I did do the things you claim. Surely you wouldn't think I give Kakurin's arse about politics. It was business. Only business. Like that makes it better. I'm a small lizard wife. We both know I'm not the only one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Owned! I mean, that was brutal, but somehow that was satisfactory. What's with all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out in such an area. The killer may still be close. Small lizard wife does not look happy. Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. So, I was looking for a bed. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, sire. Thanks. But Swift at the Hall of Flames. Okay. And it got foggy again. We're heading into Silent Hill, apparently. God, I hate this music. It's a little too bombastic, you know? I'm back. What news, Saida? Where's the merchant? He got shot through the chest. Murdered? Damn it all to the 7th hell. He was not simply murdered, Saida. It was silence. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. You may be closer to identifying the true orchestra. The true orchestrator of those rites than you realize. Revolution. Swift has a message for you from General Raban. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the frag. The Flame General left that. God damn it! I can read. I swear. Let's give myself a slap in the face. Okay. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you return. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of your own investigation. Master Alphinaud has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade. With all haste and speak with Bartholomew. To the Chamber of Rule. Yeah, I've never been a fan of trumpets. I mean, like, used so bombastically in this style. Not a fan. Not a fan. You know, I've been to the Fragrant Chamber so many times, I should get like a bottle of wine or some ice cream the next time I come through. We have been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside. Sure. Quickest quest ever.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
It's what we do. For the Scions, we kind of do that.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room.
Sure.
The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Olive-Megan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
Uh-huh.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
You guys
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Taleji Adeleji.
I knew that guy was rotten.
Taleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Because he's dirty.
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill?
Nope.
It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
Oh, Cartano is still a battlefield to this day, huh?
The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge.
So common I don't know of it.
What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Taleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless, bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
I'm sorry, what?
Pardon?
You what, mate?
An Oligon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated.
Oh my god, not again.
Oligon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cotonou Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
I feel like I missed something significant.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Oh, great. Now we're gonna fight another
Power
weapon.
enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
Now it just sounds like he's compensating then.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Fair, fair, fair. Small lizard wife.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
Or you can, like, pad the doors.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Okay, let's see. Locked in slots, wine cellar, and all I had for lunch was bread. Bread, wine, more bread, wine, Captain Crunch, bread, wine for breakfast, and for brunch, I soaked it up in between snack crackers and some munch. Also, hello. I don't have a wine cellar. I have like a pillow fort. That's about it. Also, hello to you, amazing at school. Hope your day is going well. What do we do now? Stories we tell. Recent revelations weigh heavily on Alphino's mind. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was a product of one man's lust for power sickens me. I mean, look what happened with Gaius. That was pretty much one man's lust for power. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in disputed territories. You are, of course, the Scion best suited to this task, Private Kawanami. Do take a moment to visit the Maelstrom Command and make inquiries at the earliest available opportunity. Rather not. Be gone, whelp! This is no place for children. I'm sorry. Hello there. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? Oh yeah, she's a cutie. She's the best. In fact, I'm gonna adopt her, if her parents aren't around anymore. So he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I am afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course. But first, I need to finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there. Will you quiet but a moment? Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take it to the quicksand. Mayhap Mamordi will know what to do. A legion of guardians, an ether-starved primal. Even dealing with Ascian would be more preferable than to this charade. Sometimes I feel Menphilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Grand Central Station. Tida, this is Menphilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the 12 Woods has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. Oh my god. Shit is going down, yo. The 12's Wood. The primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I have received no reports of Ixali activity. Which leaves the Sylphs? Go, Tida. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. God, I cannot talk. Oh, and when you arrive, to inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Take a drink of water. Alright, back to the Revenant's Toll. Every time they want to send me somewhere else, I'm dragged back to the right stuff. Sup, Menphilia? It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Tida. The latest news from Odar was most disturbing. Yeah, do I get my bed now? Clearly, the only injury Alphonse suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will be healed ere long. These two are just throwing knives at each other. The other signs will need to be present for this meeting. If you're ready to begin, I will summon them now. Lord of Levin, Menphilia wishes to discuss the latest threat to arise from the Black Trap. And cutscene! Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth the revered guardian, the primal Ramu. I thought they already summoned him. You mean they summoned him again? I'm sorry, may have. Then it is not certain. The Elder Seed Seer informs us the elements themselves murmured of the Lord of Leaven's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, Ascendant, but that fact need not contradict the element's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so forth, Ramu is reputed to act only in defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and the movements? If preparations for summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon. You foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it. I told Papalino. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. I know how the Sylphs feel about the people poking. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around their territory. They already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Guardians came to trample through the forest. And so long as Casham Orin stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement, for once. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Uldar drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion, and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilized influence of mankind. But be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Taida, through your dealings with the Sylphs a little solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with the patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such thing possible, we would not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. Maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Taida. Pray report to Commander Hook at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Seal yourself for the worst, while I hope for the Oh my god, I cannot talk today. Deep breath. Steel yourself for the worst, while I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter. Experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Leaven will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will, of course, lend you whatever support you require. Fighting more primals. Yes, it's back to Gridania with us. a good game, y'all. Such a good game. Pretty fireworks. I am easily enjoyed upon this. Lost my train of thought. Oh well, couldn't have been that important. Taida, the Scions, you have arrived as your arrival has been most anticipated. I don't know why I'm giving this man this voice now. I'm just going with it. This summer, the appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand at the ready for eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Cecia, however, will speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic, or rather martial skills, may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray may you make your way to Norfica's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stands. Shit's over here. Silent Conjurer continues to speak. The other Scions have arrived already, madame. May I show you in? You may. Hey, what's up, bro? It's your wife, Taida, back again at the Lotus Stand. What's up, my Cecia? Cutscene.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty.
Why, thank you.
I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace.
Oh. Hey, hey, hey! It's that one.
Our guest informs us that the Sylphs, too, have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations.
Sweet, we're actually going to have a discussion with the Primal. That sounds pretty great.
The Twelveswood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
Yeah, sure, I'm a little lizard wife. Might as well.
You have my thanks.
Okay.
Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin.
Oh, sounds like a good time.
An ill wind blows through the forest.
Oh, Banquet has remained silent this entire time.
Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Well, that's fucking ominous. Okay, to Little Solace we go. God, I'm gonna have to say one a lot again, aren't I? Flying polar bear, traveling without a care. Give me that creepy music. Tired of the science? I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramua himself. An unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I have been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak. That we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Levin might be found, I would ask that you abide here until they return with your findings. They're not going to return with the findings, are they? Levin an impression. The Serpent Lieutenant looks about, seemingly awaiting a visitor. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finish the investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching, and have wisely identified the precise location where the Touch One summoned Lord Ramua. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good woman to her fellow Scions? It would be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please come with us, this one. Into the Sylphlands we go, where we'll stop nobody knows. Flying is so great. No more getting lost on these tangled paths. Wise ones have ventured deep within Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for Touch Ones. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Rama. This one may turn mean and nasty like Touched Ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find Wise Ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety, Walking One. Bye, Maxio. Just over there. So it's actually you. I'm relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded Sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with our skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on your Stoll's face when one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalima. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and I am pleased to say I've reached an indisputable conclusion. To wit, that Rama has called forth in the vicinity of the Silsky Bright. Come, Tiger, the Lord of Leaven awaits. I think I remember there being an Aetheryte over here while completing my hunting log. Yep, there it is. Let's go. Oh, cutscene. I'm a small wizard life.
Thine order betrays thee, servant of hiding.
Oh, we're having words. Holy shit, he has an epic beard.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan.
Get fucked, Booglemog.
I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
I want a giant bed.
The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man.
This guy's
Thus
cutting
did they
deep.
turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflict have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born?
Oh, he'd be musing.
It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges, that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee.
Hey, call back that
Thou
actually
standest
works.
apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal, shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee.
Alright.
Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment.
Dude knows how to teleport.
Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Alright, guess we're fighting Lord 11 after all.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
Wait, he's here too?
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Yeah, sure. The striking tree hard, now accessible. Let's do this. After forging deep into the Sylphlands, meet with the intimidating guardian of deity of the Sylphs, the primal Ramuh. But before he would consider your proposal of peace, the Lord 11 first demands proof that you possess the strength required to repel the Empire from the 12's Wood. The thunderous entity then vanished with a blinding flash, leaving the words of his challenge yet echoing through your ears. Enter the Primal's domain and prepare to be measured on the scales of battle. Well, this should be fun. Let's go ahead and mute this until the cue pops. Play a little bit of relaxing music in the meantime. So how are we all doing today, chat? Hopefully y'all got enough sleep. Some warm weather coming to my side of the world. We're going up to 110 this week. Everybody stay cool, no matter where you are. Unless you're in the southern hemisphere, then stay warm, I guess. I guess the southern hemisphere becomes winter when we have our summer in the northern. Weather is weird. Gonna check some business stuff while we wait for our cue, since we don't have much else to do. Sip my tea. This is the Kugane Night Theme, Crimson Sunset by Bocati, by the way. At the beginning of the stream, we played Beneath Dark Waters, also by Bocati. So if you're looking for any mixes you hear during the stream, probably this, or it's the chill hop, any of the essentials. Kind of mix and match them. like we're back into the fray, ladies and gentlemen. Assuming DPS has his stuff together. Oh, now we're just waiting for the other tank. Okay, this usually starts with a cutscene, so let's just shoot this down. See what we got. Ominous. Striking tree hard. The black shrub. God, this looks spectacular. I love the ambience. Yeah. Kind of epic. This one up. What that? Just gotta wait like 23 cutscene anyway.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light.
And
I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond.
yes, sir.
Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
That's ominous. Yay, bye. Hey, Oriange.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians.
Oh.
But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Whatever you say, dude. You don't talk often enough, so sure. That sounds like it'd be fun. Okay. Solace. Let's go. I'm back. Ta-da! You have returned. I asked how Ramu received your visit. We punched it out. Challenge you to a test of arms. As well then that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and the Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Taida. Elder Sitio must be informed of your deeds at once. What little gods are made of? The Serpent Lieutenant is ready to send you on your way. The Elder Sitio will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. Conjure at Melferic's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Taida. Back to Gridania. So, the larger place or continent or area that Limsa is called La-Noscea. Limsa is just the capital. Like Stormwind is in Elwyn Forest. Ul'dah is located in Thanalan, and Gridania is located in the Black Shroud, right? Welcome back, Honored Son. We knew of your mission and have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Sitio awaits you within. What is up? Little lizard wife is back. And a cutscene.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this.
Your necklace still looks like an upside-down
I am
cow.
informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell?
You He spoke rapidly to me, like everybody does.
Ramu made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the Elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow Scions have done.
And give me a bed.
Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth.
Cool.
Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Give me a bed. Or not. Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Taida? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that Urianger too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Taida? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Might as well. Not like you guys will give me a bloody bed otherwise. Practically holding me hostage. So that jar just sing. Welcome back, Taida. Where do your momentous encounter with Lord Ramur precedes you? I would fain share news of my own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedent. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together. Sure.
If everyone is ready, let us begin.
Oh, good. A lot of voice cutscenes. Good for resting my
Urianger,
voice.
the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence.
I like your words, funny magic man.
In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
Oh, is this a math lesson? I don't like math lessons.
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
Now roast him more.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady.
Sure,
Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Good luck, buddy.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
It's good to have Minfilia and Urianger talk at length, especially when they got so little during the initial MSQ. Hello! Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Nevin all have now been humbled by the bringer of light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelin's servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. Several times has the masses survived the rejoining, but the souls have grown weak and wane. Yet, even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wanted to quicken the Eorzean's fertile soil. We need not lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity rise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Guardians of Eorzea. Minfilia has some correspondence she wishes to share with you. And another cutscene. Now the matter of Ramu has, for the present, been put to rest. There's something I would show you, Taida. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all of the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Ruda, Good King Mugamog XII, PhD, Esquire, Attorney-in-Law, Leviathan, and now Ramua. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel they were meant for you above all others. I, too, must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Taida, and Eorzea is that much safer for your presence. It was my fucking bed then. Pray, do not misunderstand me. I say safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascian... I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may relied upon... Oh my god. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm till such a time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow. And there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in doing so. Our list of enemies have ever been long, but I think the allies with whom we are now blessed are the sylphs of Little Solace, who wish not of conflict, of the Alamegans and the Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dreaded march of the Empire. And then there are the many ensuing unsung individuals who have gathered here in Revenant's Toll, honest men and women who seek to employ their skills for the good of all. God damn it. Of course, when I speak of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Ascendant. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you to unduly... I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphanol, I take it the troubles in Udar no longer require attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message for you from Ellie. You recall the refugee girl, of course. The one whose parents were missing. They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Halfnor? Am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Watch him squirm! Watch him squirm! Taida, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name. I believe he has a small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Might as well. Work, 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 work. One second. You have to cough. Hey, Yozen, what's up? Let's see. Look, it's Miss Taida. She's back from her adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, that they were some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we want all to be heroes too, so we finally formed our own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Miss Taida? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What is all this commotion then? We'll see you guys. Mr. Boulder and Miss Coltonet. Did you know that Miss Taida is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Taida. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hori Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltonet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. Like I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Taida if she could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? Am I about to beat up a bunch of kids? Well, you've certainly been diligent in your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Taida? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Hori, if I didn't know better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Ha 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 ha! Well, mayhaps I am. But what matters the motive? What matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Taida? Would you consent to spar with me? Do I have to? Guess I have to. Hurrah! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. I'm a small lizard wife. Do try not to disappoint them. Have faith, Coordinates. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Alright, guess we're just beating up people passing by now. I've been to this side of Mordona. We gotta fight. 'Twas good of you to agree, Taida, and trust you are ready to begin? Yeah, as ready as ever. Oh, cutscene. Very well, let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Honey, are you certain you wish to fight her alone? That is Taida you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, it was this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Taida to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear that the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Ah, great, we got spectators. Yida, what? Who are these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Here, take a drink of my water since my throat's become sandpaper. There we go. Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Taida's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. At night I have honed my skills. Now come the time to test them. And spin the win. All that. Ugh, such power, the tails barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. Aye, the children have the right of it. It is time I joined the fray. On your feet, Hardy. Right. Staff man first. I must admit defeat. It was an honor and a privilege. Oh no, he looks hurt. This Taida is so strong, but you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. Can't disappoint the younglings. And forward. And forward. I will face such strength. However, face such strength. The lesson must continue. It is your example I follow. Surrender not to implacable foes. And down you go. Small lizard wife wins. You have bested me. I yield. Okay then. I get your bed. That was incredible! She beat them both at the same time! We knew you couldn't lose, Taida. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I am to ever attempt the same. Fucking owned. Impressive as always, Tida. It is ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Don't be condescending to me, you little prick. Do you recall when we first met? It was at the memorial service for the Battle of Contino. Technically, it was on a boat while you were asleep, but sure. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand the land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended between the solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought the Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their homes were in, I would never have been surprised if some had chosen to swell allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switch of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless actions of bravery, that what my grandsires sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor a single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inexhaustible courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. What are you gonna do? I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. You're gonna fuck it up somehow. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of the Seventh Dawn alone. No. What is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. You're about to open up a can of worms, boy. The Monterists weren't happy with a single small organization operating in Oldar. They sure as hell aren't gonna let a big expanding operation run its course throughout all nations. This is gonna go bad. I can already tell. We're gonna be hunted by the Eorzean Alliance by the end of this, mark my words. Or at least the Monterists. Thank you for coming, Zyda. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, A group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. I think I need tenacity. Recruiting the realm. Alphanol wishes to request your assistance for his new endeavor. And the cutscene. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of 3 nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against the threats that no single nation can hope. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet, while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Or impetus, whatever. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hoped to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the science. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the Ascendant. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But, as you yourself have witnessed, with the refugees' revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scions' command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning ground company, it is yet necessary that I visit the 3 leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. It is reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Lominsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. We going home, lads? We are going back to Limsa Lominsa. Play me that beautiful music. Any minute now. Now it's nighttime. I think you are. I'm ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blofinsword, whatever. While the Admiral and I are finalizing promissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through the various channels. but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of this opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. A unit range into the countryside, the upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter that we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Scout potential recruits on the upper decks. So we got one in the Martyrs Guild and one near the Culinary Guild, so let's grab those first. Back to our old stomping grounds. Raina, my buddy old pal, how you been, my friend? Hey, wanna join an organization run by a snobby old kid? It has a small lizard wife with a giant axe, you know. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, say no more. Master Alphinaud's new organization. Yes, I had heard the formation of his trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lominsa must needs receive my full attention. Fair, fair, fair. Yep, it's down there. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity, I must say your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Fair, fair, fair. What's the other two? Over there, and over there. So let's go to the aft castle and run amok. I say this teleportation system is great, especially since you can't mount up in capital. Okay, this one is at the missing member. Eh? Who in the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on the dandy Cavalian's door. Fair. All the people are making fair proclamations, you know? A precursor to a united Eorzean Grand Company? While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responsibilities here at Salt and Vinegar keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to traipse hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. This last one. Up and over. Around. This music is totally unfitting to this section. I love the boom of some fireworks. Hey, it's Rio. And I don't have to whistle for him this time. Seems some fireworks, my man? Well, if it ain't Dida, I'd not forget the venturer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into the Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Drow, don't you? Former of the company raiders. He whistles a Bronzic. Aye, ain't often I drag my eyes out to glimpse her for a drink. And I'm glad I did. How you faring these days, lass? You're looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work. Ha! Sounds like a right lock it does. Alrighty, lass, count me in. Heroes may have gone the separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into me grave just yet. Hey, we got Rio. I like his moxie. I like the cut of his jib. Speak to Alphonor at the airship landing in Limsolo Minsa. What is this game? Oh, neat. Drop us off right here. Oh, that's where that leads. Alright, to the airship landing we go. Oh, hello, Alphonor. Ta-da! You recruited well, I trust. I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa. A member of the legendary company of heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice, if you could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit to the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at the Norfirka's altar. Got it. It's really close to saying something else. Alright, so teleport to Gridania and then to the Conjurer's Guild, I guess. So that guy playing UN Own was her. My audience of the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. Okay, what are we looking at? There's one near the amphitheater, one near the Rats Guild, one in the train, and one up there. So let's just go to the amphitheater and run the rest of the way. Oh no, it's this guy. If he accepts us into his organization, we are so fucked. Oh god, can it truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Eh? Could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler and a regular patron of Bascurians. Yes, I remember who. Never forget the name of the two-faced bastard. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if jail had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. Less said about my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, the Wood Whalers will have not more to do with me. This may be just the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's told, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this, I promise you. I'm a changed man. Bullshit! That guy's totally gonna backstab us at some point. Alright, let's go ahead and run up here. Oh, it's you guys. I remember you from before I entered Tom Tada, I believe. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let's return to the guild and rest ere you tormented back gives up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry, we were just... Oh, tie-dye, isn't it? It has been some time since our paths crossed outside the Copperbell Mines. Is that when I talked to you? Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then. But look at how far you've come. Mother Moani tells me 'twas you who felled the fearsome Black Wolf. And now you seek out hearted souls to fill the ranks of your new order. Well, your cause is undoubtedly just. My older companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. Nice. Who's next? Up we go. Hello there. You would offer this old man a place in your company of champions. I'm both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young mistress. I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear responsibility for the evils my lady has brought upon this land. All these guys are getting very fair assessment, except for Laurentius. He can go die in a ditch. Sip my water as we walk along through the forest. We're in the forest. Oh, it's you. It is not often guild officers such as myself gets recruited. This company of yours certainly sounds like to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such a time as your organization is more organized. Whatever works. To the airship landing! Because I believe we are done here. What news, Saida? For my part, the eldest seer was most amenable to our requirements. Former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer, our company will not lack for variety. That much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Gross use of words, but okay. Shall we strike into Udal with the iron as heart? Let's meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Nothing bad has suspiciously happened as of yet. Oh god, it's become daytime, which means we're gonna get the trumpets of Uldar. God, I hate the trumpets of Uldar. This one is so much. Run, run, run. Okay, Alphanar. Uldar, the Gilded City, where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some man of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest ascending the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana would take kindly to us poaching her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Taida. Again, gross use of terminology. Not hunting or poaching or gathering people or recruiting. We're not bringing in a harvest. God, Alpha, what the fuck is wrong with you? Where are these people? Okay, we got two near the Avenue Exchange, two in proximity of the Weavers Guild, and one near the Gladiators Guild. Let's work right to left. Oh, there's a query? A company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire. Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the next all over, let alone the conundrums of the neighboring nation. Okay. Have you come to tell me the news, soldier? Well, I've already heard it. Seems you would-be savior of of Uldar's refugees went and got himself killed. Not by your hand. He was just as much a pawn as the hapless cast-offs he sought to deceive. Eh? That's not why you're here? Ah, you'd be surprised what rumors drift down the Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the streets that your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. Alright, great. What the fuck did Alphino do? Alright, he's gonna kill this organization before it even gets off the ground. I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me? Is this some new fashion manner propositioning a lady? I'm afraid you are wasting your time. This lady is already spoken for. Good day to you, miss. Lady, you got the wrong idea. Holy shit. Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, perchance? I do. I am Orsin of the Church of St. Adamar Landamar. Thank you again for your timely rescue. And I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on tribunes less fortunate. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion? Thancred, wasn't it? Ah, 'tis a new companion you seek then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good. My right place is at the church and with children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. Last one is at the Gladiators Guild. Oh, it's Will Red. What are you up to, Will Red? Wait, you're the lady who came to Little Alamigo, looking for the masked edible. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? Probably be dead. And a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. In your road, that disaster really got me thinking. About our homeland. About the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated. I vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am. A new company of champions. You say it will take me to all corners of the realm. That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in Little Alamigo. I prepared myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. Sweet. Speak to Alphino at the Royal Promenade. Alright, Alphino, I'm back. How fare you, Tida? What hidden gems did the street of Uldar offer up to your unrelenting gaze? I will beat you to death with a pitchfork, Alphino. You keep dehumanizing the people we're recruiting. Hello, Doug. How you doing? A single Alamigan in the youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our raw ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, I think of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born with no small part from the victories you yourself have won. You are really pushing through the MSQ. Yep. Slowly but surely, I guess. Thank you, Taida. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed in my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana and also graced my trial company with a blessing. Our first wave of recruitment is over. Documents signed, the finances secured. No, there's naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the Syndicate's involvement. The Syndicate is involved? Boy, you just fucked up this organization from its inception. They're gonna fuck us over so hard. I repeat myself, they did not like that the Signs of the Seventh Dawn were in Uldar. They are not gonna stand for this company. They're gonna corrupt it from the fucking inside and backstab us somehow. Probably via Laurentius. Laurentius is going to be involved. Once the Syndicate, oh my god. Alphonal, you fucking idiot! As was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of the contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Yeah, they'll just stack the deck against us like they do the Sultanate. They're gonna do something shitty. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon the outside of sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers cannot sustain a venture of this magnitude. As for the rumors and doubts surrounding the enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust one success at a time. Fucking hell. Speak of the time, we should waste no more of it. Let's return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea. Alphonal, you maroon. You absolute idiot. Was so screwed. You've given the Syndicate the doorway that Minfilia so carefully prevented from happening back when we were still in the Waking Sands. Now they just get to waltz in and push their influence upon us. This is so dumb. I'm gonna have to fight Omega at the end of this because Alphonal is a freaking idiot.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alphino's bold endeavor?
Oh, this is voice. I think he's full of shit.
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
About that.
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Uldar is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate?
Yes.
That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
That's my concern. Yes.
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace.
I don't.
They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the warrior of light would betray our cause.
You betray me, I'm kicking your ass. Okay, if you're flame general or not.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'Dan law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing?
Rename it to Leggy Trump.
Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Man, this hits a bit different after the last 4 years. The last 20 even. This is awkward.
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Speak to Alphino at the Rising Stones. Let's get the hell out of this trumpet fest. This is much more pleasant. Jazzy piano. Excuse me. This is not a journey I soon wish to repeat. I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our efforts is at hand. I must see to the preparations of the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Taida. I didn't have a choice in the matter. I'm certain the Ascendant will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Heretical harassment. Minfilia appears eager to welcome you back to Revenant's Toll. Greetings, Taida. Alphino tells me all is in place to begin the trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. The Taru is cooperating with Alphino to see that all is in its readiness. So I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late. I wonder if Slaftborn might not find himself overrun. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught he requires? Yeah, let's go check him with Slothborn. I'm making so many plans without the dude's consent. It's getting a little ridiculous. Kind of overstaying our welcome. Hey, Slothborn! So, where's my bed? Oh, what's a cutscene? What can I do for you, Taida? Thought you'd have your hands full helping out with the new arm of the Scions. Just checking in. Ha! I barely noticed your recruits arrive. Just barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. I appreciate your offer of aid. 'Tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the Antecedent. So I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Oh, thank God. Slathborn, the shipments, we couldn't. God's woman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. They were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There's naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? Heretics are involved, and this is like to be more than a cause of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did the supplies originate? House... Or Temps. House Frugal. That's what I called it. We collect the provisions from Camp Tribone proper. Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Tida, were you not on good terms with the Knights of Frugal? House Frugal? I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Leave it to me. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Harry, or Horshavant, will be glad of your assistance. Alright, everybody get your boots on. We're headed back into the snow. To Corthus. Small lizard wife, away! Hey, Horshavant, I'm back. You miss me, old scoundrel? Well, if it isn't my fine friend Taida Kawanami, would you care for a plate of roasted cockerel? Or some mulled wine? Are you trying to wine and dine me, dude? No. I see you have not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was, in fact, on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. When the cold sets in, Lord Horshavant awaits confirmation of the reason for your visit to Camp Dragonhead. And a cutscene.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest.
Voiced.
Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortom does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day.
Even after we killed a false Inquisitor?
This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name.
I'm gonna name
What
her
we do
Steve.
know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait?
Hell yeah, might as well. No,
Hello,
this is
Nay's
gonna do
blessings
it.
be upon you. Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. I'm a small
Should you
visible.
learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Okie dokie, Archoki. Speak to Dromont at Whitebrim Front. Okay. You don't have to run to Whitebrim. We can fly on a polar bear. And polar bear power. This music is like the opposite of a DAW. It's epic. Awe-inspiring. Fantastical. Ta-da! Is there aught you would ask of me? Pray, speak plainly. I'm a man of action, and need no honeyed words. I need a giant bed about yay wide. On the trail of band of thieving heretics, you say? By the fury. But you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess, then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly, without warning, and are canny enough to evade almost able trackers. But 'tis not merely the newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this Iceheart wields. The men we face seem utterly lost to the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a trader was waylaid on the road. Patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow, carried him to our infirmary, assuming he had regained the use of his faculties. The merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. Fine. All the bear to the infirmary. Okay, he's not here. Is he up here? Yeah, there we go. Hello there. Tell you what happened? Why, yes, of course. I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly Blackhearts. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground. Several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were talking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my blurry gaze and stalked over to me, barely acquainting my head with his mace. To better acquaint my head with his mace, before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, and you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived it all. I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Search the wilds of Snowcloak and defeat any heretics you encounter. Okie dokie. Time for small lizard wife. Use the axe for good. I like the sound effects on this. Yeah, this looks like the place. Howdy, y'all. Take you out first. Get the win. Hey. Don't you interrupt me. Golf clubs. Speak to House Durandary. Right. Further up. Gah! Draw your rum and foul. Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You come seeking heretics? Then we share a common purpose. We are on patrol when we chance across one of the raiding parties. Pursued them here. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine. Yet they are gone, vanished in, like icy wraiths. Cutscene. Who's that on the cliff there? Nobody? Just a small lizard wife. Wow, that was a cutscene. You glimpsed the woman atop the cliff. Could it be Iceheart herself come to sneer at our folly? And where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall. Some hidden tunnel that has escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. It would be best were we to return to White Prim Front and lay our suspicions before Lord Drummond. Alright, let's head on back. The bear. Power. Oh, the sound design on these mounts is so good. Actually feel like we're making some aerodynamic noise. Excellent. Alright, it appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily, I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. Should be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Horsefond of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingency of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Back to Dragonhead we go. Alright, Horsefond, I'm back. And another cutscene. Is this one voiced? Should be bad, yo.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart?
She's like yay tall and likes to stand on cliffs.
Indeed. And this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma.
Are you gonna wine and dine her too?
As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action.
Alright.
Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
What do you say, dude? Report to Slapborn at Revenant's. What a day, what a day, what a day. Back, Slapborn. Ta-da! 'Tis good to see you return to the toll. How fare you in the frozen waste of Corthus? House Fort Taunt is to send us a second shipment. I must send thanks to Lord Horshafont for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphanor's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. Getting new armor. That's alright. Brave new companions. Slapborn has news on the progress of the inaugural ceremony. While you were away in Corthus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Totaro does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? These parchments need to be sorted. These documents, why are they even here? Oh, I'm sorely tempted to file the lot in my waste paper basket. Ah, Tada, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid! Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll. I haven't the time to track them down. The recruits now don the garb immediately. The recruits know to don the garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You'll want to report directly back to Alphanor if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. And one of the Scions will ever have the matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Okay, time to search around. Okay. There's one. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself is an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there shall be wealth of plenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. I don't trust that guy. He's probably one of the monitor's plants. And you I don't trust with shit. I thought it best to mimic my foes here. I admit that I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Ah, new uniforms. I'm reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Yeah, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you, dude. The Scarlet Guard marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom, a hardy defender of Limsa Lominsa. Yet in truth I stand for the betterment of the realm. I thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Yep. Oh-ho! Now that strikes a shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my drawer will certainly not lack with color. I don't believe we've met. I'm Ilberd. We will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity. I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Here's your uniform. The uniforms are a shrewd decision. There's no easier method of creating a common bond among what is essentially abandoned strangers. You know, I'm not recognizing anybody I personally recruited out here. I'm starting to get suspicious while surrounded by monetarist plants. Tada Kawanami? Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. You take this. It is an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Hey, Will Red. Little Alamigo could learn much from the Revenant's Toll. That this town can be so alive in amidst such desolation. And never one aught quite so voluminous, whatever. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra clothing in time. Hello there, lass. Hello there, lass. Looking for me, was ya? I'd suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure as I'd hear it among the bustle. Oh, proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to my head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Isildur has at last retired from the adventurer's life. Though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit, I am excited to forge my own path forwards. Ah yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Alright, I think that's all. Speak to Alfred on the Rising Stars. Water. Yes, Sada? Tataru mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call to arms I put forth to the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elite soldiers can achieve. I imagine I thought of a name for the company. It is my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Taida. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement. The cutscene.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the Scions of the Seventh Dome, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea.
Under the poorest of the monitorists and the Syndicate.
From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
Oh, we got a snazzy salute and everything.
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
Neat. Cutscene.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12.
Who's this Kryl?
I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder. Have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans?
No, thank goodness. Don't want to be blinded.
Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidel's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Money! Dun dun dun. Oh, another cutscene. Very, very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let's hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last. It won't be. The winds are uncommonly fierce this day. They look like mannequins. Oh no. Oh, great. Just what I needed. Well, that seems as good a way as any to end a stream. Ominous cliffhanger. Thank you all for stopping by the Pale Fort. I've been Sloth. Thank you all, KO2, Amazon is Cool, and Doug for stopping by once more. We will continue this tomorrow at the same time, barring any intrusions that I am not aware of. I hope you all have a good rest. A good rest of your day, too. And I will see you tomorrow. Y'all take care now, as we continue our Lizard Wife adventures. She's amazing. Alright, thank you all for coming by. We'll make it a shorter stream today than usual. And bye-bye.